Good morning and welcome back to No Greater Joy Studios. We're going to go through some questions this morning that you guys have sent in. We're going to try to answer them with biblical wisdom as well as wit and a little bit of silliness. We're going to have a good time. I appreciate you guys sending the questions in. We will obfuscate if it's something very personal, so don't be worried about that. And then we're going to just do our best to answer what you've sent. So go ahead, Ashley. What's our first one?
Okay, first question. I thought this was great for our modern age. It says, how do we raise non-technology children in a technology-driven world?
Well, I'm the only one that's done that here. For Dad, that meant to keep him away from the 8-track.
I don't know what it is, actually.
I had somebody the other day, I saw a quiz and somebody had a question of what did Apple produce in 2001 that changed the world, and a bunch of people said iPhone, and I was like, no, it wasn't that, because we didn't even get a cell phone until we were married for years.
Wow.
And then it was a flip phone, so the iPhone was way later than that. So how do you raise a non-technology children in a technology-driven world? You just do it. You have a value system in your home. You have a thing that you hold as important, as necessary. You make sure that's not technology. Now, there's nothing wrong with technology. We've got multiple cameras and lights and computers here and things happening. My daughter does social media for us at the ministry. There's nothing overtly wrong with technology, but technology makes sin easier. It makes the sin of slothfulness extremely easy. It makes the lack of thankfulness. It makes anger something that's really easy to vent and to be in the forefront of your thoughts and your conversation. It also makes Bible study real easy. It also makes communicating with missionaries in the Philippines really easy. I read a book, I think it was from 1904. This was quite a few years ago, and it was the speeches from Yale and Harvard and some of the different. It was the missionary and speeches, and one of the leaders of the missionary movement said that in our day and age, and he said in our modern day, you can get from right here in New England to Central Africa in 30 days. And he said, shame on us if we don't reach the world for the gospel in our generation. And I just was laughing because I hate flying 18 hours somewhere, in a comfortable jet where I'm fed meals every 3 minutes with lots of wrappers and, a toilet. But technology isn't bad. It just adds complication. So use it for the glory of God.
My perspective on that is, I've had people say that they don't want their children around guns. Guns are dangerous. Guns can kill you. And I said, yes, they can. That's the reason that I have a shotgun standing in the living room that won't fire. It was 1892 or something. Mm-hmm. The firing pin was gone. And so it was, of course, unloaded. But it was standing there, and I told you guys, don't touch it.
Yeah.
And so the kids were raised with knowledge that they saw me shooting other guns. They were quite deadly. And then I would take them out and from the youngest ages and shoot guns with them, have them shoot. But I got them BB guns. I don't remember how old you guys were, but we had a rule. I told them, I said, a gun, all guns have a little devil inside of it.
I remember that.
with his foot on the hammer.
I was sure that was true, too.
Ready to kick it and shoot somebody. So all it's doing is waiting on you to wave the gun past somebody like that so it can set it off. And to reinforce that, I had another old Ithaca shotgun that when you close it, about every 1 out of 1,000 times it would go off when you put a shell in it and close it.
Remember that going off too.
I was careful about it and I hunted with it. But then one day I was hunting and it just went off by itself. Well, I parked that shotgun then. That was the end of that. But the boys, Gave him a BB gun. I said, now don't ever point it at anyone. If you do, I'll take it away from you. I think it was Gabriel, wasn't it? That I saw it swinging past, just holding it and turning and swinging it past. And I took it away from him for, I don't know, 3 months or something. And he really loved that BB gun. They both did. But that they learned to use guns, and today they use guns, and they're all quite safe. I've had other people I've noticed that never are around guns, and they get up about 16 years old, 17, 18, are adults, and you go out with them to shoot, and you're taking your life in your own hands because they do not know how to be cautious and careful with it. So I think technology is something we're not going to be able to get away from. It's going to be more and more prevalent. It's going to, our entire lives are going to be floated in technology. And the only way to avoid it would be to move in the mountains away from everything and live 18th century type life. So I think what we need to do is introduce technology to our children with a constant warning about the dangers of it, but showing them how it's dangerous, and with guardrails and safety systems set up so that before they're mature enough to say no to, say, looking at pornography or getting online and spending a lot of time foolishly. We have guardrails that won't allow them to do that. And so wait until they leave home before they have complete license to do what they want to do. But when they do leave home and have complete license to do what they want to do, they need to have had lots of experience of disciplining themselves in what they're doing and how they do it. So that's my view on that. And it is walking around a deep bottomless well on the farm, several of them with the chance of falling in it. And most people fall in the well. So it requires extreme discipline and caution.
It's just so dangerous. Especially my boys, when they were young, I realized that in this world, if you're going to be a successful carpenter, you need to know social media marketing, because that's where everything's at. That's where barn dominiums are sold, is on social media. I decided to stunt my kids by not having them on social media, because they're have a lot of things they don't know that other kids would know, TikTok and things, how to type and get involved in. And I decided, I looked at the fact, okay, well, this is dangerous and this makes you ignorant. Where's the balance in between? And instead of pushing toward the dangerous side, I stayed toward the, well, we'll be more ignorant and we'll learn it when we need to. And when I needed somebody to do social media, Ashley writes well, thinks well, and is sharp, but you've never had a Facebook or anything, have you, until you were...
I kind of had Facebook, but I never used it, and Instagram and everything. I was like, I don't know what this is.
And it's not just, pornography is the big scare. It's the big dangerous, and it legitimately is. And I have counseled young men that got into pornography at 11 years old on their Xbox in the living room in the middle of the night. They'd get up while parents are sleeping, and I didn't even know you could do that. You could access it, but it's extremely dangerous. But that's not the only danger. If you look at the desires, not just the desire, but the worldview of a young woman that is raised on Instagram, looking at other people's clothing and view of the world, it's such a carnal view of the world, because it's perceived through the eyes, and it is.
And I think it does lower your confidence, because you can spend hours scrolling and looking at these women who look perfect and they dress perfect and they have a perfect life, because all you can see is just a little picture of their life, and they have millions of likes, and you're like, that should be me. I don't have that. And then you compare yourselves to other women. I see so many young girls who they come into this social situation and they starve themselves, or they are always like talking, oh, my hair, oh, the way that I look, this and that, and they don't have that confident spirit when they walk into a group of people.
Well, I got something to say about the brain on that. It's funny, I just saw this week, because I'm working on the new book, women who are raised as girls on social media, and the more they know about Hollywood performers, the less their brain is active when they have an MRI. I thought that
That's
was
funny.
interesting.
Yeah, I never heard that.
It must lock them into one part of their brain.
I think people stop growing intellectually and emotionally when they become immersed into the technology.
So we talked a lot about the philosophy of it. Let's talk practical.
Okay.
My Facebook Marketplace is maybe the greatest technological advancement of any lifetime. I love Facebook Marketplace. I get all kinds of good deals. I'm looking for windows right now. My boys use it to buy all kinds of different things. I have a Facebook account. I have access to it on the computer in the bedroom, my bedroom, with it facing out so that you can see what's on. And if you want to get on Facebook Marketplace, that's where you do it. It's not stunting. They can get on that. They can access it. My son is rebuilding a 1982 Chevy stepside that's super cool. And he's been trying to put the Warren hubs on the front and figure out, so he comes in and gets on YouTube and he looks up YouTube's on my 16-year-old. I want him to be able to do that because it's an incredible resource. It's in my room, which is open to the kitchen living room, and it's in plain view. Not because I don't trust my son, he's incredibly trustworthy, but it's a practical thing. The other practical thing is when they started driving is when we got them phones because we wanted to be able to get in touch with them. But we got them phones that wouldn't access internet, just to be careful, and we put apps on it. And we made a rule when they started driving. I said, if you answer the phone or text while you're driving, then you lose your phone and your driving privileges. For the first time, it'll be a warning. After that, you'll lose them for a year. Wow. And I was serious about it because a friend of ours died about 1.5 miles from my in-laws' house at 17 years old on a mild corner doing 70 straight off the corner and into the tree. And I don't want that for my boys. That terrifies me. So, yeah, but that wasn't a cell phone, I don't think. But the boys, I told them that, and then we got them driving. And as soon as I started driving, I texted Jacob and said, "Where are you?" And he answered, "I'm such and such." And I said, "That's your one chance. You're going to lose your phone." And he said, "But it was you that texted me." And I said, "And how did you know that? How'd you know it was me?" "Because you checked your text on the phone. That was your one chance. Next time that happens, you lose your phone privileges." And so then we'd randomly text him something, but he kept his phone under the seat or put away because I like my boys. I want them to grow and give me grandchildren someday, and so it's a practical application.
I remember that because this is why we still lived in Hawaii, and I was driving with Jacob, and he had a big truck, and the steering was, the power steering or something was really loose, so it was...
It was an old Chevy. They're supposed to be that way. It's cool.
It was a nice truck, okay? But I remember you were calling him multiple times, and the phone was just in his pocket buzzing, and I was like, "Are you going to grab it?" And he's like, "No." And I'm like, "It's in your pocket." And he's like, "I'm not going to grab it." And I was like, "Can I grab it?" He's like, "You can." And I was like, "Okay." And then I got home and I was like, "What's up with Jacob?" And then I learned that rule because I don't know, I didn't get that rule for some reason.
Girls are less susceptible to that wrecking that way, especially you. Your personality is less susceptible to that than the boys. So I was, not that I'm not concerned, but I was less concerned. But it's a scary world to raise kids in. Kids are a blessing. Enjoy them. Walk the middle road as best you can.